Good evening from a very snowy Ibrox. It's game on here, which is good news because it's another massive match live on BT Sport. It's the top two in the Scottish Championship as Rangers take on Hearts. The storyline, full of intrigue, well, it's just taken on a whole new dimension because these are the scenes outside Ibrox at the front door tonight. Fans are venting their anger at the board. They feel they've been lied to again. It emerged yesterday Mike Ashley would loan the club more money in exchange for a security over the stadium, despite promises at the recent AGM that Ibrox would never be used in such a way. It's the final straw for many supporters who are turning up to demonstrate. Some will head home after, not even take in the game. It's come to that. The struggle for power goes on. Amid allegations and counterclaims, there are several parties vying for control of the club. The current board seemingly won't loosen their grip. It's boiling point. It is complicated. And there is another development tonight. Dave King has called an EGM, and this is his statement. He says, I confirm that a requisition for a general meeting has been hand-delivered to Ibrox Stadium. The requisition consists of 4 resolutions for the removal of the incumbent board and 3 resolutions for the appointment to the board of myself, Paul Murray and John Gilligan. We did ask for the board to come and talk to us tonight. They've declined, so I'll be with Gary McAllister then to try and make sense of it all. First of all, do you understand the anger out there?
No, absolutely. It just goes from one drama to another. I can fully understand that the facts that the fans were told that this fantastic stadium would never ever be used in any negotiations or any securities for loans. So if they feel as if they've been slapped in the face again. So it's at some point I feel Mike Ashley and the present board should come out and just be transparent to the fans. The fans at some point need to put their trust in somebody. They just need to be told what the long-term project is, what the end deal is. And the EGM, of course, being called now. Dave King must feel he's got enough support here to overthrow this board. And that might be a little relief good news for the Rangers fans, the fact that Dave King has done this, because he's obviously concerned of this latest move to put the stadium up as security. It's very, very concerning, especially if you're a Rangers fan. This is the bedrock. This is their club. This is their home. It can't be used as a negotiation stadium.
Gary, thank you very much indeed. That is the backdrop, of course, and Rangers must beat Hearts really to try and get back in the title race, and it just so happens that Hearts are the only undefeated league team in Britain.
The talk of the town are the boys in maroon. Jamie Walker, exquisite! It's a belter! Hearts on a victory course. Listen to the Gorgie roar. It's Wilson, just like that. It's Flavin, it's 2. There's 2. It's out of these walls. And it is a scene of pure maroon at Tynecastle. Hearts top of the table and now holding Rangers feet to the fire.
I've just nipped up to the BT Sport desk now to concentrate on football alongside Stephen Craig, and Stuart McCall, the former Rangers man, is here. Michael Stewart, an ex-Jambo as well. On Hearts, we've just seen how good they are. They have been relentless.
Oh, they have. It's right from the first game of the season here at Ibrox when they beat Rangers 2-1. It's been a unrelenting form streak that they're on, and you know, I said a couple of weeks ago when the Hearts were playing Hibs at home, and I said if they got through that, you know, there's no reason why they can't go the whole season unbeaten now, and I stick by that. You know, obviously tonight's a big game again, but there's no reason why they can't do it.
You see the team news at the bottom of your screen there as well, and some question marks over what the approach would be for Hearts here tonight, Stuart. It looks like they're playing 2 up top, maybe Callum Patterson in there. One change is Jordan McGee's into that team, so it looks like they're going for it.
Yeah, it seems that way, and from a Rangers perspective, if it is 4-4-2 against 4-4-2, I think that'll be a little bit easier for the midfield of Law and Hutton. But certainly, I know Callum liked to settle into a right back position, in fact, and wanted to make a position for himself, but he has been thrown up front. He can play that role, and as you say, if it looks as though they're going to come and play 2 up, they're here to win the game.
The interesting move for Rangers is that Fraser Aird comes into the team, David Templeton out tonight, and Stephen, I say it's interesting because some talking's been done this week. Fraser Aird saying that to a man, Rangers are better than Hearts.
Well, I think, you know, Kenny McDowell summed it up well yesterday when he said he would just like his players to do the talking on the pitch. You know, Hearts aren't 13 points clear by luck. I think they've scored 10 more goals, they've conceded 10 less than what Rangers have. I think Fraser should just concentrate on playing his football. You know, the question would be how many Rangers players would get into, you know, current Hearts best 11. I'm not too sure there'll be many. You know, there may be arguments for 1 or 2, but I think he should keep his mouth shut, just get on with his football and try and become a better player.
There were also some bad feelings after that last game. I know John Daly was speaking yesterday and he said that he felt some of the Hearts players were going down easy that day. I think some of the Hearts players said afterwards they thought Rangers were playing dirty. Will it be lingering here?
I don't know. I mean, listen, I think that you know, Rangers went to Tynecastle and they played the way they had to try and get a result. They were physical, yes. Do I think they were over the top? I don't think so. And you know, I wouldn't suggest that. I don't think the Hearts players were going down too easily. But in terms of lingering over, I don't think it will. But there's obviously going to be a bit of needle in the game because they're the top 2 teams in the division.
Snood or scarf?
It's a snood, Darryl.
Thought so. Let's hear from the men that picked the teams tonight. Kenny McDowell and Robbie Nielsen have been speaking to Mark Guidi.
Kenny, you've made one change to the team tonight. Fraser Aird in for David Templeton. What's your thinking behind that?
It's just to freshen the team up in the wide areas. You know, we just felt Temps has come back into the team and he's played a couple in the bounce there. You know, I just wanted to freshen that up, so I brought in Fraser.
You've had back-to-back victories. You've got the chance to reduce the gap to 10 points tonight with the win. Are you confident you can get that win tonight?
Absolutely. The boys are looking forward to it. We know it's a must-win game and we're hoping to get the 3 points.
Obviously, once again, Kenny, a lot of off-the-field stuff going on. Are you hoping the Rangers supporters come inside and support the team tonight?
Absolutely. I mean, we're focused on winning the game, you know, and we're looking forward to the game. So hopefully we can get our supporters in and they can enjoy it as well.
Robbie, one change tonight. Jordan McGee in, James Keating's out. What's your thinking behind that?
Yeah, just wanted to change it a little bit, you know, change the shape a little bit as well from the game on Saturday. So James did really well, but you know, I think Jordan's going to be capable of coming in, playing a slightly different formation than we normally do. So we'll see how it goes.
You mentioned a different formation. Is there a possibility that you might go with Patterson and Zifauk up front tonight?
Well, there's a Zifauk up there, there's a Zifauk up top, and then we'll see what we can do behind them.
You've got the opportunity to increase your lead to 16 points tonight. That's some incentive, Robbie.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for us. You know, it's we're sitting with a good cushion at the moment. 16 would be great. You know, we'd be delighted if we could get it, but we need to go and work for it.
Are you confident you can get the victory?
Yeah, we've got good players here. You know, it's going to be a difficult game. Rangers are a big club, a lot of good players, so we don't have to work hard if we're going to get the points.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you.
It's a crucial match, but let's just remind you of what's happening outside Ibrox tonight. The protests continue. They were angry earlier, and it looks as if there's a fair amount of people there. Stuart McCall is angry, and it's perhaps understandable from many of the fans' point of view here.
I think you're right. I think it can be understandable, especially for what's come out over the last 24 hours. You know, to put the ground up as security against any loan or anything like that, as it was said last year, it wouldn't happen. It's been said already, it wouldn't happen. It looks like that's what's going to happen. This ground's seen many some great times. Obviously, they had the horrific disaster as well here. This ground belongs to the supporters. This club belongs to the supporters. And I can fully understand why they're doing that. What I would say, I would love them to be inside the ground, back in the team, to look at the support Hearts have got here tonight, and it's going to feel like a home game for them, that's for sure.
Because some of those supporters are demonstrating and then heading home, and it's at a time, you know, when Rangers are actually losing players. Lewis McLeod's gone, and Hearts are strengthening. Gennaro Zifauk has joined, and well, he saw last week what he can do. 2 goals in his debut. Could have been a hat-trick. He missed a penalty, Michael.
Yeah, I know that would have been a great debut to score a hat-trick, but I think he just brings something different to Hearts. You know, they've been missing that physicality up front, and you know, we see here with a couple of clips the difference he made straight away in his first game. Picks the ball up, he drives inside, and the first thing on his mind is to get a strike off, and I think that's something they've missed in recent weeks, Hearts.
Well, I think it's the fact that, you know, they've been relying on James Keating's, and I think, you know, young Robbie Buchanan, Gary Oliver, probably, you know, smaller strikers who sometimes when you're up against it, you know, Hearts probably didn't have a great spell with regard to scoring goals a couple of months ago. They need that physical presence. So's been missing, El Hassan Wee's been missing. He just brings something different. Sometimes when you're under a little bit of pressure, you can throw the ball forward and you can bring other players into the game.
Well, apart from this, he was off to an absolutely fantastic start. The guys like what they've seen, and Robbie Nielsen likes so far too.
He's got great quality. You know, his fitness probably isn't where he would like it to be, or we would like it to be, but you know, that will come over the next month or two. But technically he's fantastic. He's got great strength, links the play well, and he gives us a different option from, you know, what we've had previously in the season.
So he's in for Hearts, but as we mentioned, Lewis McLeod gone from Rangers. It means the rest of the midfield really need to step up, Nicky Law included.
Yeah, certainly. I think, listen, I know he can do better, Nicky, right, in a consistent level. What I would say is he's playing in a struggling side. He's got 10 goals, he's a top scorer. get him in the final third, play him alongside somebody maybe like Kyle Hutton, and let Nicky go do what he's good at. Let him go join in with the strikers. He's a terrific finisher, left foot, right foot. He can create chances for other people, and he just needs to play in the final third.
See, that there is just exactly his strengths there, as Stuart talks about, getting into that final third. I mean, he plays, you know, at Rangers with a traditional 4-4-2, and it maybe limits him slightly. His strength is in that final third.
He is their top scorer as well, we should say.
He's probably arguably been their best player. You know, he's the one at times, Darryl, who wants to get forward, who wants to get beyond the midfield. You know, we see here a good finish, but even last week against Alloa, he's the one making the run into the 6-yard box, prepared to put himself in the line. I think I would like to see him being brave more on the ball and taking a little bit more kind of positivity, Stuart, in his passing, as opposed to sometimes, for me, just keeping it simple.
That's what frustrates me sometimes. I see him because I know he can do so much more, but I think he's sometimes maybe a little bit of pressure playing here when things aren't going well. But go commit people, do what he's good at.
Both of you, of course, I've worked with him at a few clubs, so you know him well.
That's just where I don't think that's his strength, though, to go, you know, deep and pick the ball up.
No,
it is that final
top end of the park,
definitely.
Yeah.
OK, let me remind you, lots of football to come in BT Sport in the coming weeks. FA Cup 4th round, 3 games for you, starting with Liverpool against Neil Lennon's Bolton, Saturday the 24th, 5:15. The next day, 3:30 PM, also BT Sport 1, Brighton against Arsenal, and then the Monday night, 7:45, same channel again, Rochdale against Stoke. Great FA Cup tie there. We're building up to kick off at Ibrox tonight, Rangers against Hearts. The Jampos looking for their 3rd consecutive victory against the Gers. Some fans inside, many still outside tonight protesting, and they'll head home afterwards, we're told. A lot of them will not come into the ground. Conditions are tricky too. Snow has fallen, but the game is very much on. And the 90 minutes are on the way next, live on BT Sport. Welcome back, almost set to go for Rangers against Hearts here, and that is the message from the fans who are in to the board. Forever Ibrox in the week. They think, well, it might be in Mike Ashley's control, the stadium. And there's the Celtic management team as well, checking in ahead of that Old Firm game coming up, semi-final of the League Cup. Ronnie Tyler and John Collins in attendance. Some of the board are here. Looks like the Easdales are in town. Derek Lambias as well, so they've braved it and been here tonight. Barry Leach there too. So the directors are in, despite all the demonstrations continuing outside. It's a big game though, we can't forget that. Stephen Craigan, Danny Wilson there in front of his team. That team that defeated Rangers 2-0 only a matter of weeks ago.
Well, that's what will give them so much confidence coming to this venue. You know, they came first game of the season and they won. You know, they've been on a terrific run, they're full of confidence. And I want to see Danny Wilson leading from the front tonight. I want to see him taking the ball, stepping into midfield, making things happen. He can do that.
So much has changed since that last meeting, of course. Lewis McLeod gone, the manager's gone, and I just wonder if that defeat perhaps pushed him towards that resignation as well, Stuart. It didn't go well that day, although you did say Rangers started well in the match.
Oh, well, I think anyone who was at the game and saw the game until they're sending off, Rangers with that aside. And it just shows you that it could have gone then to 3 points. It went to 6 points, and now it's gone. Rangers have had some poor performance, Queen of South away at Hibs. I think tonight, I think Bobby Madden could be the busiest man. If you look at the last 2 games, I think 17 yellow cards. I'm sure both teams will be fired up for this one.
We're just hearing Hearts have been waiting for a little while for Rangers as well, and they're a wee bit frustrated. They're desperate to get out there, Michael.
I know.
Here they are.
Here they are. Yeah, they're all ready to go. It's but as, you know, as the guys are saying, it's a massive, massive game. Regardless of the result, you know, I think that Hearts are clear enough at the top. But for, you know, reputations, there's a lot of reputations that need to be repaired here on the Rangers side, and they'll be making sure that they get out there and put in a good performance.
Reputations at stake then, almost set to go. So over to your match commentators, Gary McAllister and Derek Ray.
Thank you, Darryl. Good evening, everyone. From the Game of Thrones in the Ibrox boardroom to the team conquering all in the Scottish Championship. This was billed as the only division for drama and fierce competition. Instead, what we have is a runaway. Part of Midlothian have led Rangers trailing in their wake. A yawning 13-point gap. Many of the fans on the Rangers side voting with their feet. Hearts well represented, more than 2,000 in attendance from the capital. On this snowy night, there is the Rangers team. They've kept the same starting 11 for the last 2 matches. There is one switch this evening, however. Fraser Aird returns to the side to the exclusion of former Hearts winger David Templeton. Chris Boyd once again has to settle for a place in reserve. Hearts retain the formation they used to such dazzling effect in the 5-1 win at Dumbarton, but there's one important change in personnel. Jordan McGee comes in for his first appearance in nearly a month. Callum Patterson moves from right back to partner instant hit Gennaro Zayfauk in attack. James Keatings is the player who drops out of the starting 11.
In both shapes, both teams going 4-4-2. Rangers will look to get the ball wide to use the pace of Aird, and on the left side they look to Wallace to overlap and get the service into Daly Miller. Hearts, one little surprise, Patterson's gone from right back to up front. It's a position he's familiar with, but they go by a 4-4-2 and they'll look to attack.
The news line for you: Bobby Madden won't be taking charge of the Celtic Rangers League Cup semi-final in just over a fortnight. He informed me earlier that he'll be away on a UEFA course that weekend. Well, maybe it'll take a covering of snow to trip up Hearts. It has enveloped the south side of Glasgow. A heavy squall blew through about an hour ago. Thankfully it seems to have let up. I do think that visibility of the ball might be a slight problem.
No, that was the first thing that came to my mind that we could do with the orange ball.
Fraser Aird tried to give it to Kenny Miller. Mistakes might be part of the story here. John Daly slipping around to be anticipated. Rangers and Hearts for the third time this season.
Well, you can visibly see that the ball's holding up in the slushy snow. It's not running freely. But the other thing is, the studs, the player's studs, that slush will stick in the underbelly of the boot.
The Rangers board members in attendance. We wondered how many would turn up amid the protests. Seen by Richard Foster. Cries of sack the board audible all around us. Sam Nicholson has really come onto a game for Hearts. Star of the show last week at the Bet Butler Stadium against Dumbarton. Alim Öztürk. He's become a real hero. Supporters. Callum Patterson trying to run away from a few players. Bobby Madden right on the spot. Well, it's going to be a match with a difference, quite clearly, given the pitch conditions, Gary.
No, it's not running freely at all. The ball's getting stuck. It's going to be difficult for the players who like to run with the ball. So maybe a night for the ball to get knocked forward long and then play in the knockdowns.
Alim Öztürk, scorer of spectacular goals from long range. There's a couple of them already wearing the colours of Hearts. Gennaro Zayfauk leading the line, a double in his debut last time out. Olgado Gomes hovering over this. French-born, but of Senegalese parentage. He's walked away from the ball. Jamie Walker preparing to take it for Hearts. First chance to get men forward. Lee McCulloch. Prince Blabbin. Frustration there for Stevie Smith, who went to ground. Stevie Smith, who was sent off when last the sides met at Tynecastle in November.
Oh, a real judder here, and his knee ligament there. Oh, it's a strong challenge. It's just a little bit of the follow through. That rattled him. Robbie Nielsen, the Hearts head coach. Softly spoken, maybe. Fiercely determined, and yet to taste defeat in the league. Robbie's indicating as well it's difficult to see the ball. Kenny Miller was reaching for it. Bobby Madden, it says, free kick here. Told, by the way, that is an old football that Jimmy Bell found in his kit bag. Rangers kit manager.
footballs were supposed to be delivered for this season. Sam Nicholson. Perhaps Mike Ashley could have come in handy with regard to supplying footballs.
No, we've just seen a famous name of a sports shop going round the billboards there.
And Stephen Smith, here's Lee Wallace, former Hearts man. Well, it might not be the last time we see something like that. It's going to be a real lottery.
But you've got to say, this is farcical, and this is where injuries can happen. You know, when the ball doesn't run smoothly, players are trying to anticipate the movement of the ball, and it just doesn't happen. And this is where you can get some seriously bad injuries. It's dangerous out there. You know, there you go. He feels that that ball's going to run through to his left foot. It stops. You know, that's how you do a groin. It's dangerous at the moment.
13-point gap between the two sides. Kenny McDowell taking a few early notes. Caretaker manager, reluctant manager, you'd have to say, much better known for his know-how as a second in command, behind the scenes really. Nicky Law, this Rangers top scorer with 10 goals from 30 competitive matches this term.
Maybe the thinking behind Bobby Madden's decision for the game to go ahead is that, you know, given a bit of period of time, the players' action on the pitch, it might just remove the snow a little bit.
A lot of discussions going on, informal discussions between the two camps about the state of the pitch. And Nicky Law's pass. Is this going to go the distance, we wonder? I think it's a legitimate question, you know. Richard Foster, and backpedaling was Jamie Walker.
There's always a decision for the player, Derek. You know, when the ball's running through to you, you think it's going to come through to it doesn't, and therefore a player can maybe go and make a challenge, but which he might not have done.
Walker, that spectacular goal in the recent Edinburgh derby. So much a point for Hearts. Now Daly trying to cause havoc. Looking for Nicky Law to run onto the ball. Thought the decision might go his way.
And this is the tactic that should be used when the conditions are less. It's very direct. It's up to John Daly, and there's the movement of Nicky Law making a good movement for the knockdown. Just doesn't quite get the volley.
And Bobby Madden giving this game the thumbs up. The officials talking it over. Adam Eckersley, the Hearts left back. From the Manchester United youth product. Carl Hutton continues to keep Ian Black out of the Rangers starting 11. So it goes here to Neil Alexander, used to play for Rangers. Well, let's get an update from pitchside. Our reporter Mark Guidi is there. Mark.
Thanks very much, Derek. Both dugouts expressing concern to the fourth official, John Salmond, about the pitch, and they are concerned for the safety of the players. The Rangers doctor, Paul Jackson, in particular, concerned that, you know, a player could pick up a serious injury on this surface. Both clubs not happy at the fact the game is going ahead just now.
Thank you, Mark. Keep us up to date, please. Well, that's the surface that they're having to deal with. And they've got to get on with it for now, Gary.
Yeah, they've got to remain focused, but players are not happy as well. You know, of course, they've got to put more pace in the pass. Sometimes it'll skip through, sometimes it'll hold up. But it is definitely dangerous for the players.
A day of confusion as regards Rangers. There've been plenty such days, and now this weather-wise. Big Friday night tussle, first against second in the Scottish Championship. Conditions far from ideal. Lee Wallace spinning and turning. but never in control of the ball.
They're having a swipe at the snow there as well.
And Kenny McDowell, Robbie Nielsen trying to outwit each other, but they seem to agree on one thing. This is not really what anyone had in mind before a ball was kicked in anger. Bobby Madden took charge of the Hamilton-Dundee United match in the Premiership on Monday. Different weather there, wild winds, likely to endanger the fixture itself. And John Daly, the recipient of the free kick.
It's certainly not an evening to get the ball down and make pretty patterns in the middle third. Get it forward to the big men, play in the knockdowns, play for free kicks.
Kyle Hudson just trying to establish a mark. That's the crowded scene inside the penalty area. Hudson with it. There's Lee McCulloch. Under as well off target. Back with Hutton. And well, is it going to go out of play? It does, just about. Well, the word farce does come to mind. 10 minutes into this game, 0-0.
Derek, the game's not about skill, it's about which team can adapt the best and the quickest. And the obvious tactic is just to get the ball forward, take no chances at the back. The referee feels that the ball's moving well enough.
The big issue earlier had to do with the lines and whether they were visible or not. The problem was solved. Oh, Nicholson, that's what you were talking about, Gary. He's trying to keep his balance, trying to stay on his feet. Up ahead of Alim Öztürk. Danny Wilson came through the ranks here at Rangers. Went off to Liverpool, didn't really work out for him there, but certainly has found a home in Gorgie. Jordan McGee leaving it for Alim Öztürk. Too long and too strong for Callum Patterson.
Yeah, but that's the sort of ball that they should be looking for, just playing up the channels so that it holds up in the snow, and then strikers have got to go and chase it. It won't be pretty.
Steve Simonson continues to deputise for the injured Cammy Bell. To check the weather forecast earlier, there was talk of more snow, a possibility, between now and about 11 o'clock. If we get additional snow, that might just be the final nail in the coffin of this match, but on they go. Air's pass, flicked away by Eckersley. Jamie Walker, Aird, clumsy. I've been told, by the way, that the stewards here at Ibrox have been pre-warned that there is a chance the match might have to be abandoned. So they're at the ready. But Hearts continue. Zayfak looking to create space for himself. Gennaro Zayfak. They call him the fridge on the Hearts training ground. And it was just narrowly wide. Walker in support of Zayfak.
Yeah, suitably named. The fridge. There's a big battering ram here. Just crashing through it. Pushes Nicky Law to the deck. It's just wide. And that's a little indication of the strength of Zayfak.
Well, it's a night for refrigeration here on the south side of Glasgow. Bobby Madden just made his way over to Robbie Nielsen there. Headed forward by Wallace, was looking for the touch on from Daly. Danny Wilson, Neil Alexander. Aird, now Wallace. And it's not a night for the fancy stuff, is it? Into the grasp of Alexander. Just watching this, Gary. What do you think? Does it really have a chance of going the 90 minutes?
I think I'm able to say on behalf of the players, this is horrible. You know, it's no conditions you want to play football in. The ball's not moving freely at all. Is it going to take an injury before the referee recognises that? I don't think it's playable.
Richard Foster. And Jamie Walker. Eckersley. Down he goes, Foster. That disgruntled expression etched on his face. Jamie Walker about to spot the ball. And he's got a green patch to work with there.
If we're going to see goals, Derek, it's going to be set pieces or mistakes, obviously.
Go with it. Daly back there defending. Into the air. Nicholson. Just trying to clear their lines. Wabin. And Nicky Law just scrapes it away. Only as far as Morgado Gomes. Gomes has gone back to become the extra defender for the Jambos. Nicholson. Anderson in there to cause problems for Rangers in the air. He's a right back by choice. Can play an attack. Scored when last he featured as a centre forward for Heart of Midlothian against Cowden Beath just before Christmas. It's going to go Hearts' way.
It's a clear handball there as Wabin just tried to lift it over Nicky Law.
Öztürk steps forward. We remember his goal, the Edinburgh Derby at Easter Road, and not long after that, scored with a long-range effort against Range Rovers. Steve Simonson will be well aware of that. All eyes focused on Alim Öztürk. And he lets rip off the woodwork. Now Simonson reached up.
No, right off the laces. Straight run up off the. It's a great strike. Just a little touch by Simonson. That's wonderful technique. Right down the middle though. Keeper had a good view and just get his fingertips to it.
Absolutely crucial from Simonson. And he's put to the test again, Simonson. And it comes to Wabin. Who wants to strike it for Hearts? It's left to Prince Wabin. Blocked by Nicky Law. Hearts tenacious. Said that time and again this season. Now Rangers trying to get it forward to Kenny Miller. It was Fraser Aird's pass, but it held up on the surface.
Well, clearly there, that ball was going through. It would have reached Kenny Miller. There's no doubt about that.
Almost 18 minutes gone. Very awkward playing conditions. Zeefuik. Well up for Gennaro Zeefuik. And from the Dutch club, Groningen. Gomes. Eckersley to his outside. Well, all eyes on Bobby Madden as he trots over towards the touchline. Now, what's the verdict going to be? The safety of players has to be paramount. Robbie Nielsen and Kenny McDowell will be called together. Not sure if you're a good lip reader, Gary.
No, I'm struggling here. I'm sure Robbie Nielsen would like a truer surface. His team are playing with loads of confidence. They're knocking the ball about really well on good surfaces. This doesn't suit them at all. And I know Kenny McDowell, he wants to play as well. He wants the ball to be played on the deck. But he simply can't do that this evening.
So George Salmon, the fourth official in the background there too. Well, it seems They're going to continue for the moment. We're hearing from down below, 5 more minutes. They're going to give it 5 more minutes and see what transpires.
I suppose the movement of the players and agitating the stone might just move it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think both managers would have to have agreed there to give it 5 more.
Keenly anticipated contest, this. It's with a 13-point lead over Rangers. Sadly, we're talking far too much about the weather and the conditions out of necessity. No way around that. Eckersley joined Hearts in the summer after 6 years in Danish football. There's Jordan McGee.
And again, you've seen the instruction from Robbie Nielsen there, just get it forward, don't be looking for your midfield players, just hit the front man.
It's Wabin. The Hearts ball on this near side. Finally taking it, Nicholson. Players, coaching staff looking over towards the officials as the precipitation falls on the Ibrox playing surface again. It's icy night. Is the game going to ultimately be frozen off?
There's the risk of the back pass.
So I'm not sure you want to be trying too many of them. Richard Foster with the miss kick. There's Patterson trying to occupy the mind of Darren McGregor in his first season with Rangers. Eckersley. So we move towards the midway point of the first half. Gomes. We've seen a number of miscues from both sets of players.
Yeah, no surprises there, Dad. A lot of errors. Most of them unforced. Players not willing to take risks, which you can fully understand.
Uphill climb for Rangers in terms of catching Heart of Midlothian in the Championship. I know this really falls in the must-win category if they have designs on doing that. Foster, Eckersley trying to get rid of it. Walker. Sam Nicholson. Held up nicely for him. Nicky Law trying to get right into his face. Nicholson, natural dribbler. There's a touch of the Bobby Prentice about Sam Nicholson. To name a great Hearts winger of the past, going back to the 1970s. Wabin has missed out Nicholson. Walker has it now. Aird went down, took the tumble just as that was developing. Kenny Miller, and it was Alim Öztürk, fully committed. This hasn't got going, Kenny Miller, in this match.
As that ball just slowed up between the two of them. Just shut my eyes for a second.
I think, Gary, that very shortly we are going to hear from Bobby Madden. The final verdict, I think, is on its way, about to be delivered. Bobby Madden moves over towards George Salmon, the fourth official, and you can see that that mixture of rain and snow falling on the pitch. Everybody looking for clarity. Well, what's it going to be?
Is it a feeling that the rain might thaw the snow?
That is it. It's off. Match abandoned. You can see the reaction of one or two in the Broomloan Road stand, the Hearts supporters. But that will be all for tonight. I must say, the conditions were farcical. Ball movement very unpredictable. And so, the top two in the championship are going to have to do it again on a date to be named later, Gary.
Am I surprised? No, not really. I just think it's a little bit dangerous. And certainly both managers don't want to lose players to injury because of the conditions. A few of the Rangers players are a little bit surprised. They feel as if the pitch was maybe improving a little. Is that snow or is that sleet, Derek, that's now starting to drop?
Well, that's what was coming, and the officials didn't want to take any chances. Lee McCullough just having a word with Bobby Madden. The Scottish referees have been away in the sunshine in Spain. I'm sure they all wish they were back there on a night like this. Now, chaos for the Hearts supporters who had to travel through here this evening. The M8 was not the best road to be on. I think one or two might have been stuck just as the game kicked off. But that is it as far as the action's concerned here at Ibrox. Robbie Neilson and Kenny McDowell will have to pit their wits against each other at a later date. No goals to report. Match abandoned.
Derek, Gary, many thanks indeed. Stephen Craig and Stuart McCall, Michael Stewart are with me. All a little bit surprised and disappointed, I guess, for all the supporters that have shown up today. But Michael, is this the right decision?
No, I just think it's crazy. How you can start the game, it's not snowing now, and the pitch gets better, then call it off halfway through the first half. I think it's a crazy decision. You see the pictures here, you can actually see the grass, the undersoil heating's beginning to kick in. And the pitch is getting better. I just think it's a crazy decision.
You can hear the reaction of the Rangers fans as Bobby Madden goes off there.
Yeah, I think early on it started. Obviously Lee Wallace has gone down, went to cross it. It looked a bit of a farce. It wasn't going to be a great spectacle. But as Michael says there, the game's carried on. There's been no more snow, no more rain. The ball started moving a little bit freer. And I'm really stunned because I've always thought if a referee starts a game, conditions have got to get worse for it to be stopped. I can't see that.
Because this has got better. Well, I can't understand why he started the game. What did Bobby Madden expect to happen? Did he expect the snow to all disappear and the pitch become absolutely perfect? The pitch wasn't perfect to start. If he didn't think it was perfect to start, then he shouldn't have started the game. So I would then put into question why he decided to blow his first whistle and pass this game on.
Michael, you think it should have stayed on? Obviously Robbie Neilson, other members we heard as well, the doctors down there were saying it could affect the players. Injuries could have been picked up. Was that not the case from your point of view?
Listen, I think that, the guys will tell you here as well, we've all played in worse conditions than that. And at the end of the day, as I said to you, the conditions are getting better. I understand, from the management's position and the doctors and stuff like that they're looking at, players not wanting to get injured and things like that. But I genuinely don't see that as a risk to players there at that pitch.
But how come the concerns then weren't put forward before the game kicked off? Surely they should have been in, and spoke to Bobby Madden, spoke to the officials. They must have seen the warm-up, they must have seen how the ball was rolling. If there are any concerns, why let the game start?
We did see some players sliding around, slipping. You already mentioned it as well, Stuart. It happened early on with Lee Wallace. Here's more examples of it.
Yeah, I mean, that one was a bit of a farce, that was. But the thing with Bobby, kept going over and having a chat. I don't know if it was the coaching staff on the side that was asking it to be off. He went back, it looked as though he was going to carry on again. But there's nothing wrong with sliding on your backside like that. I made a career out of that. You know what I mean? So, but it's frustrating because, listen, it wasn't a great spectacle. It's probably, but you can sense now the tensions in the stands. Even the Hearts fans are disappointed.
Some angry exchanges it looks like between the fans over there. Let's just hope everyone keeps a little bit sane here. And there is disappointment because this was a massive night for both of the clubs, of course. And do we want to not see this fixture in the best possible light, Michael? Because it'll be played again under hopefully much better conditions.
Well, yeah, but again, listen, when you're playing football over the winter, you've got to come to expect that there's going to be bad conditions from time to time. We were talking before the game about a winter break and things like that, but I just go back to it. The pitch is getting better, and I don't see why that was called off.
I think that's a frustration. I thought we felt, watching it, it's a bit of a farce to start with. I thought Rangers started again quite well on the front foot. Ball into Daly, down to Law, just, defended well. Then Hearts started coming into it, hit the bar. But I thought the football was getting better. The park seemed to be getting better.
We're trying to get a reaction, I have to tell you, from the dressing rooms, from the referee as well, just to get absolute clarity how we came to this decision tonight. Stephen?
I was just going to say, what summed it up for me that the game was getting better. Sam Nicholson was starting to dribble with the ball. He was starting to take men on. Yes, it was sticking now and again, but he was opening his legs. I think the younger Hearts players were starting to get on the ball and starting to enjoy it a little bit more. Of course, it's probably more of a relief now the whistles went. But when they look back on it, Hearts were getting better and gradually coming into the game. So, as I said, I still can't understand why Bobby started the game.
It looks to me as if, right from the off, Robbie Nielsen and Kenny McDowell as well, they were in at the fourth official, they weren't happy with it. And I think it's almost the pressure from the touchline that has made Bobby Madden's decision there.
Could they not have cleared the pitch, Stuart? Could they not have stopped it for a while and cleared the pitch?
Yeah, but do you know what would be nice? If Bobby Madden now could come out and just explain clarity. We've been on about clarity all day. We could do with some clarity now from the referee. Come out and tell us why it stopped. I certainly think, I don't know about Kenny McDowell, because I thought Rangers, because they started quite well, he's thinking, right, let's go on. But certainly, Robbie, you could tell he was telling his players and calm down a wee bit. But here we go. So that's fair play to him.
There you go, sure. It's almost like you called from him. And
he's got an earpiece.
He's come to speak to us. Let's hear from him right now with Mark Weedy.
Bobby, why did you start the game first of all?
I felt at the kick-off that the match would be playable. We'd obviously viewed how the ball was moving throughout our warm-up in an hour and a half since we arrived at the stadium. We felt it was acceptable. We were led to believe through the ground staff that the snow wouldn't come back, which it didn't, and that the snow would melt once the players were on that field of play and through the under soil heating taking effect. Unfortunately, after starting the match, it didn't seem to improve, so the decision was taken to postpone the match.
Were both coaches concerned for the safety of their players?
Yes, they were, and I took that into consideration. Obviously, that's of paramount importance. So I spoke to both coaches a couple of occasions before we took the final decision. Then we took the final decision and we gave the authorities and the police and the club enough time to put the infrastructure in place to deal with that postponement.
Were you tempted at all to bring the players off for 5 or 10 minutes and let the ground staff get to work?
I think the information the fourth official was receiving that it wouldn't improve. Also, the snow was starting to come back on again, so there was no sign of that improving. So we took the final decision to postpone the match.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you.
Well, he was assessing the conditions earlier on. This was out well before kick-off, rolling the ball. At this point, he obviously deemed that it was all okay. Yeah. Stuart, you wanted to hear from him. What do you think of what he said?
No, listen, I think we're all frustrated because we wanted to watch the game, wanted to see it carry on. I think from with a manager's hat on, you have got to take the safety of the players into consideration. And then, to be honest, now if you look at it, the snow's beginning to fall again.
Yeah, but if you look at that pitch at the beginning of the game, and then once the cameras cut back, it's night and day in comparison to what it was at the start of the game. And Bobby Madden said there that we took the decision it was acceptable at the start. So I don't understand. Look at that now. If that was acceptable before, and we're looking at that now, I cannot for the life of me logically get to the conclusion how this isn't acceptable now.
Is that the biggest problem for you then, the fact that it started?
Well, the fact that it started and it was getting better. To me, if the ball hadn't been rolling as cleanly, the players were, visibly falling over, the ball couldn't be kicked, players couldn't dribble with the ball. Of course, then it's a farce and the game has to go.
Like that.
Yes, it started like that, but what I'm saying is it got better.
Yeah.
Of course, it wasn't the kind of standard of football that maybe Hearts have been playing. I think it might have suited Rangers more, being in those kind of conditions, because I don't think they've been playing well, recently. But certainly for Hearts, I can understand why Robbie would want it off. He's got this unbeaten record. His team want to try and protect. He wants his young players protected, so I can see why. However, for me, Bobby Madden should have made the decision. He should have been brave, he should have been bold and said at the start, the game is not going ahead.
And we're hearing from the SPFL, the start of next week, they'll have a new date for this game. We did say, of course, ahead of the game that Hearts the only undefeated league team in Britain. Can you imagine if they'd lost this game, there would have been a lot of anger, the fact that they lost their record in this kind of pitch. Maybe that's in the referee's mind, certainly in Robbie Nielsen's mind by the look of it.
Well, I think it was in Robbie Nielsen's mind because, as I said, right from the start, when the game started, he was on the sidelines, talking to the fourth official, clearly not happy with it. But I just, I just can't for the life of me get my head around how once the game has started that you can call it off when clearly the pitch is getting in a better condition.
We did say, Darryl, before the game that we'd have a big job, the referee, tonight, and play a big part, and obviously has. But I think, and also he's explained there, I think we saw he came over. I was a bit frustrated because he kept coming over 3 or 4 times, but I think the last time was to make sure all the security and all the people down at the side of the park before he actually cleared it off. So in that regard, fair play to him for that.
He did come out and speak to us as well. You must feel for him to an extent, Stephen.
No, I don't. No,
I
don't, because
do these two not get paid if the game gets caught? I don't
get paid at all. I just think he should have been brave at the start. I would have probably held him a little bit more regard and maybe give him a little bit more respect if he had said at the start, you know what, this is not going to get better. I know he did say that, I think it was the groundsman said the snow will disappear. The snow wasn't just going to disappear.
Hard to predict as well.
Well, it may have got better, but it was never going to disappear. So for Bobby to imagine that the snow was suddenly going to disappear and we were going to have the perfect surface, for me it doesn't add up. If he'd been brave at the start, I probably would have understood a little bit more.
Fair play to him though for coming out and saying, talking to Mark there.
Yeah.
I think that I agree with Craigs that he should have been brave at the start of the game, call it off. I think he's made the wrong decision now, but at least he's come out and explained, the sort of reasoning behind it.
Let's not forget, of course, it was an emotionally charged night here at Ibrox. Protests happening outside the front door ahead of the game as well. And EGM's been called by Dave King. That was the backdrop here, Stuart.
Yeah, from the very first minute, sack the board was, reverberating around the stadium. A lot of anger, and you pent up, you can feel it, frustration, and the supporters made their views felt tonight, that's for sure.
We'll look forward to seeing this game again, hopefully very soon.
Well, we hope so, and I hope we're here. I hope the conditions are better, and I hope Bobby Madden's not refereeing.
Guys, thank you very much indeed. Let's not forget, we'll be back, we hope, next Wednesday night with St Mirren against Dundee United, and 2 days later St Johnstone against Aberdeen. Aberdeen very much in the title race. Thanks for watching. Apologies we couldn't bring you 90 minutes. We hope to see you next week. Bye bye for now.